Hi you beautiful New Zealanders. Well, the video today is going to be called Why the Treaty Principles Select Committee Process was Engineered to Favour Luxon. This is very, very interesting. Alright, so what's in the box today? In this video, I'm going to show you how the Treaty Principles Select Committee Process, and I've abbreviated that to TPSCP, was engineered. I'm going to show you 6 reasons why this had to have been so. It was open to all ages, no capture was required, no formal ID like a driver's license or passport was required, only an email address was used to identify those submitting, the names of submitters are published, and A to E above made it easy for machines to make submissions. So I'm going to explore what motivated this sham, and I'm going to explain the one thing that has come out of the TPSCP. So watch.
More than 300,000 submissions have been made on the Treaty Principles Bill, setting a new record. The Justice Select Committee has unanimously agreed to extend the deadline for submissions until 1 p.m. next Tuesday. It comes after Parliament's website crashed due to an unprecedented number of users making a submission at the same time. Zane Small has the latest.
Tens of thousands marched in Hikoi mo Te Tiriti to protest the Treaty Principles Bill, which, it's now been revealed, has attracted hundreds of thousands of public submissions.
We've had some initial estimates from the committee staff that approximately 300,000 submissions have been received online.
The clerk of the House of Representatives said this appears to be the highest total ever received. The previous record for submissions was just over 100,000 on the Conversion Practices Prohibition Legislation Bill in 2021. The deadline for the Treaty Principles Bill expired 2 nights ago, but Parliament's Justice Select Committee today unanimously agreed to a new deadline of 1 p.m. on the 14th of January.
What we're happy to do is to recognise that there was a high volume, that some people who may have wanted to submit didn't get the chance to, so we've reopened submissions so that they have that opportunity.
It comes after Parliament's website crashed due to a, quote, unprecedented number of users making submissions at the same time. It meant that some people were unable to submit, and the new deadline means they now can. To give an idea of just how much demand the website was dealing with, on Tuesday alone, more than 150,000 submissions were lodged online. Green MP Tamitha Paul also sits on the Justice Select Committee.
There's obviously a big stuff up. And we need to fix that so that people can have their say.
I think it's a really good thing. Yeah, this is obviously the most important bill that our country will be facing for a while.
The right thing to do is to extend it, so good news.
The Treaty Principles Bill seeks to redefine how Te Tiriti or Waitangi is interpreted in law. In coalition talks, National agreed to support the ACT Party bill at its first reading in Parliament. But Prime Minister Christopher Luxon has vowed not to support it any further.
The bill is bad. It is divisive. It causes disharmony in our community, and it didn't even need to get to the point that it's at.
If you agree with that view or disagree, you have until Tuesday to have your say.
So there you go. So how easy was it to make multiple submissions? Well, I tried some things. I have 6 email addresses for various things that I'm involved with. So I went onto the Treaty Submissions website to see if I could make 6 submissions, 1 genuine and 5 fake. I wanted to see, can you do this? What I found was that there were 6 boxes to fill out on the online submission form. They wanted your title, they wanted your first name, they wanted your last name, they wanted your email, and they had a phone, an alternative phone. Now that's 6 boxes. In the submission process, only the first name, last name, and email are compulsory. So you only have 3 bits of information that you actually have to put on there. In other words, anyone, anywhere can make up a name, use an alias email address, and make a submission. Dead people, fictitious people, people overseas, activists in other countries, children. In fact, anybody. You could just fake a submission. As I said, I tried making up a fake name, but used only one of my 6 real email addresses, and it worked. I made 6 submissions to see what would happen. Each time I received a confirmation email saying that my submission had been received, and what's more, once the confirmation email was received, there was no requirement to verify the email address. Unbelievable. Anyway, I kept going. So the next step was, I researched how easy it is to make up an alias email address. So I did some research on that. The answer is it's incredibly easy. Google says anyone can make up to 30 alias email addresses using gmail.com. Microsoft says 400. Fastmail says 600. And StartMail is unlimited. Unlimited. In other words, if all the Treaty Principles Select Committee process website requires is the first name, last name, and email address, the potential was and is there for anyone to submit literally thousands of fake submissions. Yeah? But not only this, the online form, there is no requirement to verify that it is a real person making a submission. Yeah? It's called CAPTCHA. Here are some examples of CAPTCHA. Usually, when you're doing some sort of form, online form or whatever, there's something called CAPTCHA comes up. See, there's one there, and you have to click the houses, 1 of 4. So you have to click wherever there's a house in those pictures, and that verifies that there's actually a real person who's making doing something on the website. And here's another one. Now, you would have seen all these. They're everywhere, right? Because the treaty bill submissions process did not include real person verification, this opened the door to bot machines being used to make submissions. Yeah? It is highly likely that this is what caused the sudden surge of submissions on the final day for submissions on January the 7th. How do we know? Well, enter this guy, Rick Roberts. He is Indie Technology's Chief Technology Officer, and he said there was a high possibility it could have been the result of some form of automated attack. Quote, there is a high chance there could be a lot of fictitious submissions through bots, he said. An attack is a strong word to use, but this bill has got a lot of publicity and a lot of attention, and it makes it an easy target to direct some bots against to influence or interfere with the process. There it is. This guy is an IT expert. Say Roberts couldn't be conclusive about what went wrong on Tuesday, but said it could easily enough be overload Parliament's website in a world of generative artificial intelligence. Quote, you can create a whole bunch of virtual machines all around the world, and on those virtual machines you can instruct it to log on to the websites, put in some details. It can randomly make up some names, randomly make up some submissions, and submit those as if it was a human, and each of those virtual machines can do 1,000 submissions in a minute. Wow, look at that. And there's the reference to the article. I'll put the references in the description of this video. So what ought to have happened? Well, the submissions ought to have been only open to people on the electoral roll. That's how they could have beaten all this. Why? Because the voting age is 18 for a reason. Parliament decided that at 18 people can analyse political situations in a mature way and make good choices. Under 18s can't do that. Well, there's a whole lot of children who are putting in submissions. Yet submissions for this bill were open to anyone of any age whatsoever. It's ridiculous. Okay, back to what ought to have happened. When a person made a submission, they would search for their own name on the electoral roll and provide a picture of their driver's license and their passport. They would have got onto the website, entered their name, it would have come up quickly through a search function, and then they would have just provided their driver's license and passport and made their submission. But oh no, they didn't do that. Why? Because they wanted to make it as loose as a goose so they could get as many radical Maori on there as possible. Yeah, that's what they did. This would have stopped dead the possibility of massive fraud. And they didn't do that for a reason. So it's a really big stuff up. This would eliminate the need for CAPTCHA, since by providing their driver's license or passport, they would be proving that a real person was making a submission, you see. Another big problem with the submission process was the privacy issue. Now this is a big one. Those who submitted would have their names and submissions published. Can you believe that they would do this? We know of doctors and other government employers, or companies which are funded by the government who would not make a submission for fear of being identified and then punished. See? Cancelled. This is what New Zealand's like. What do we mean by punished? Well, funding withdrawn, jobs termination, promotion prospects ruined, things like that. Of course, those against the bill would have no fear of their names being published because it's their people who are the punishers, see? It is highly likely that the names of those opposing the bill would be put up for promotion and reward in their government departments, extra funding even. You know what? Germans in the 1920s and 30s felt exactly the same way about criticising the Nazi Party. Promotion and rewards for the loyal, punishment for the dissidents. That's how it was in 1920s and 30s Germany. This is what New Zealand is fast becoming, a fascist Maori state. Unfortunately, this is what really is going on here. People talking in whispers in cafes. People afraid to speak up. This is the new New Zealand that we are facing. When I think of how this whole process has been set up, then add into the mix woke bureaucrats, activist national MPs like Luxon and Potaka, the result that would best suit Luxon, the infiltration of activists into government departments, the fact that the whole process is so open to fraud and corruption. You know, when you put all this together, it's not hard to believe that this was carefully engineered to deliberately favour those against the bill. What do I mean? Well, think about it. Those favouring the bill are more likely to be honest, decent Kiwis who strictly obey the rules. Those against the bill are more likely to be Maori activist types who think nothing of indulging in fraud and corruption to achieve desired ends. Now, we know this by watching the behaviour of activists over the past 50 years. Their hallmarks are deceit, trickery, manipulation, and a whole lot more. I've written a book about that. For example,
I know a lot of people who have been doing hundreds of submissions for others. In fact, one person whose name should remain nameless, Hone Harawira, we were having to do his today, actually, at the tangi. We'll do as much as we can behind the scenes. What private info do I need from them to approve to do people's submissions? Just get their emails. So Te Pāti Māori have put out a comms tonight to say that we actually think there needs to be an extension of at least a couple of weeks. Again, the first thing we did is we've contacted the chair of the Justice Select Committee, James Mega, to hear the struggles of our community and that they have every right to be able to get this in.
But you know what? It gets worse. Funded for health, used for politics. What do I mean? Well, the media reports, quote, government-funded health Hapai Te MAORI will deliver more than 10,000 Treaty Principles Bill submissions to Parliament today following a Justice Select Committee computer glitch. Over the past few days, Hapai has received more than 20,000 submissions to its portal. Well, what do I think about this? Well, this begs the question, is this a government-funded organisation using its resources not to improve the health outcomes of its clients, but to lobby the government? What's it doing get involved in this business? In other words, a health organisation which has morphed into a political lobby group, and we're paying the bill. What does the Treaty Principles Bill have to do with Maori health? Is this how taxpayers want their taxes to be spent? Every Maori organisation funded by the government becomes a political lobby group. Is that good or not? Is that wrong? I think it is. Well, who ultimately is behind this engineering? So what are the likely outcomes now? Well, the Select Committee will doubtless count up those for the bill and those against, and the totals will be published. I have no doubt those against the bill will far outnumber those for the bill. The media and Maori will then have a field day gleefully announcing how, quote, vast majority of Kiwis are against the bill. So who ultimately is behind the engineering? The answer? Luxon. It's this guy here, and I'll tell you why. Please think this through. If he can engineer a big win for Maori activists, he's off the hook. He can then say, see, I told you the bill was divisive and unhelpful. The vast majority of the people in New Zealand have agreed with me. See, I got it right. What does this mean? Thus, he'll come out smelling of roses. If those against the bill win big, Luxon wins big. See that? But in the unlikely event that the vast majority of submissions support the bill, Luxon will be in deep doo-doo. See the problem he's got? Why? By not progressing the bill past the first reading, he will have to go against the will of a huge block of voters, shutting down their collective voice. And if he does that, he will know that he will be severely punished at the next election. An election loss for him in 2026 will be made much more probable. See, it'll be game over for him if he does this. But if he changes his mind and progresses the bill, going back on what he assured Maori he would not do, World War III will break out between Maori and the government, which takes us right back to how this Treaty Principles submission process has been set up. In my view, the whole process has been engineered to favour the result Luxon must get. See? Let me say that again. In my view, the whole process has been engineered to favour the result that Luxon must get. He goes, man, we got to get a win here, because he needs it for the 2026 election and for going forwards into the next half of his election period. You know what? As the saying goes, politics is a dirty business, but if you do not do politics, politics will be done to you. Will Shetley first said that. What does he mean by that? He means that, you know what, it's not beyond the government to go and set up something like this so that they get a win. They manipulate behind the background to get a win for what they want. They get a result they want, and we just fill out our little forms and we think everything's honest and everything's up front and everything's going to, level playing field and everything's good. But actually politics is being done to us. We're being stitched up here. That's what's happening. Yeah. Watch what happens with the result. Prove me wrong. Okay guys, that's enough for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Now we need your help with something. This is important. We have produced some great flyers and brochures which we want to get into the hands of all New Zealanders. So we need to go around the mainstream media. They're not going to help. In fact, they're making things a lot worse. So we have to go around them. And we need your help to make this happen. We can't do this without you. So what are we talking about? First, there is our business cards. They're only 3 cents each plus courier to get them to you. Then there is our latest booklet called The Psychology of Takeover, 19 strategies Maori activists are using to take over the country. It's 80 pages and packs a huge punch. So they're cheap, they're $3, and they're absolutely fantastic if you want to get a handle on what's actually happening in New Zealand. Then we have a few thousand of our original Stop Co-Governance booklets left over from my tour in 2023. Remember these? You'll remember we printed 550,000 of these. Well, these are now free because we realized that only about a third of New Zealand houses got this booklet last when I did my tour, and so we want to get to the other 2/3. So if you do a few streets around where you live, that would be absolutely phenomenal, and they are free now. Then we have our MACA, that's Marine and Coastal Act brochure 2, which alert people to the loss of our beaches. You know, we're in danger of losing all the beaches around New Zealand. The text is written by Graham Adams, who's a great author. These are now free. And then we have our beautiful bumper sticker, which we've just made. And why are we doing this? Well, New Zealand's identity is under threat. We know that. First activists have and are still trying to change the name of New Zealand to Aotearoa. We don't want that. We must oppose this. This is rubbish. Where's the referendum saying that we want to change the name of the country? There was none. It was just forced on us. Second, Maori sovereignty flags are appearing more and more all over the place, and they're just treason. So we've got to get these bumper stickers out. So we've printed some awesome bumper stickers. They're $3 each, and they measure 21.5 by 6.5, so you can see how big that would be on your car. To get any of these free products, all you need to do is pay for the courier to get them to you. For the products that cost something, like the bumper stickers or the little psychology booklet, it's the cost plus the courier to get them to you. So to order any of these products, just use this email address, cards@stopcogovernance.kiwi, and we'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you want to access all the videos we've ever made, including all our most viewed and most popular videos, and have them all in one place, which is what people are asking for, then just type in this address into your browser. There it is there, https www.youtube.com/@stopcogovernance, and you'll find it goes straight to our channel. Then what you do is save this address to your computer as a favorite. Job done. Well done. Then you've got them all in one place forever. And all the new ones that are coming in get placed into that address, so you won't miss anything. Okay, last thing, please, oh please, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get the latest videos straight into your inbox. You'll never miss a video, which is great. You'll link up with like-minded people all over New Zealand, and that's very, very stimulating to have meet up with all these people who think like you. You'll be telling YouTube, I like these videos, and they will respond by advertising our videos to more Kiwis for free. It's incredible what they do, but it just relies on you replying to comments and making comments and liking things and sharing things and activity. That's what it is. It's just activity on our channel. And turning New Zealand around is simply a matter of reaching more Kiwis with the truth. So just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of your screen. There, the little yellow arrow is showing you where it is, and you'll be subscribed. Okay, see you next time. You guys are awesome.